Can you actually believe the absolute state of the Kiriakis household right now? I am pulling my hair out, watching Alex Kiriakis be played like a cheap fiddle by Joy Wesley. Life and marriage for Alex have devolved into an absolute dumpster fire ever since Joy waltzed back into town with little Kelsey. The sheer chaos of this baby mama drama is off the charts, and Stephanie Kiriakis is quite literally losing her mind over it. Honestly, can you blame her? We just watched Stephanie completely snap, pulling a loaded gun and firing it, barely missing Joy. That is a massive, terrifying escalation. Jada had to step in and arrest her, and now Stephanie is sitting there looking like a complete villain. But let's be real for a second. Joy is the one pulling all the strings here, refusing to sign any custody agreements and demanding Stephanie be kept entirely out of the picture. It is classic soap opera villain behavior, and I am so sick of Joy acting like the victim. I honestly feel so incredibly bad for Stephanie, and a lot of fans are being way too harsh on her. People are calling her crazy, but we have to look at the deep psychological trauma she is carrying. Do we not remember the absolute nightmare she endured with Owen Kent? That kidnapping left her with severe, crippling PTSD. She asked her dad, Steve, to help her get a gun for protection because she was terrified, and now that trauma is being triggered all over again by an intruder in her marriage. Joy didn't just bring a baby into their lives. She brought psychological warfare. Stephanie feels completely alienated, like an outsider in her own home, watching her husband play house with another woman. When you push a traumatized person into a corner and threaten their sanctuary, they are going to lash out. Firing that gun was a terrible, reckless mistake, but the emotional breakdown behind it is entirely justified. And then we have Alex Kiriakis. Oh, Alex. The man is a walking, talking blind spot. He is so desperate to be a father that he cannot see the massive red flags Joy is waving right in his face. To understand Alex, you have to look back at his history with his biological mother, Angelica Devereaux. Angelica basically abandoned him, leaving him with deep-seated mommy issues and a terrifying fear of abandonment. Alex grew up swearing he would never be the kind of parent who walks away. So the second Joy hands him a baby and says, "She's yours." Alex goes into full-blown protector mode. He is so blinded by his need to heal his own inner child that he is willing to sacrifice his marriage to Stephanie just to appease Joy's ridiculous ultimatums. It is heartbreaking to watch, but it is also incredibly frustrating because he is being so gullible. But here's the kicker, you guys. The show keeps pushing this narrative that a DNA test confirmed Alex is the biological father of Kelsey. A DNA test in Salem. Are you kidding me? Have the writers forgotten every single rule of soap opera storytelling? We all know that a DNA test in this town is about as reliable as a leaky umbrella. In the decades we have been watching this show, how many blood tests have been faked, switched, contaminated, or manipulated by whoever happened to sneak into the hospital lab? Joy is sly. She is manipulative. She clearly has a massive hidden agenda. If she forged that paternity test to trap Alex, it wouldn't even crack the top 10 craziest things to happen at Salem University Hospital this year. So if that DNA test is a complete fake, could the baby belong to someone else? Absolutely. But who? At first, fans were throwing around names like Jeremy, trying to connect the dots to other random characters. But nope. Think again. Not Alex, not Jeremy. Wait for it. The real father of Kelsey, it's Johnny. Yes, Johnny DiMera. Let that sink in for a second and let your jaw hit the floor, because this theory changes absolutely everything. Think back to the timeline before Joy left Salem. What was she doing? She went out drinking with Johnny. Yes, actual drinking at a bar. Alcohol was involved, inhibitions were lowered, and bad decisions were undoubtedly made in classic Salem fashion. Soap opera writers never, ever just write a scene where two characters go drinking for no reason. There is no such thing as filler when it comes to unexpected character pairings. That drunken night wasn't just a random throwaway scene. It was a massive, carefully planted seed. If Joy hooked up with Johnny during that pre-departure drinking session, it explains everything. Why would Joy pin the baby on Alex instead of Johnny? Let's break down the psychology of her master plan. Alex Kiriakis is an incredibly easy target. He has a massive trust fund, a soft spot for family, and a terribly messy romantic history. Pinning a baby on a Kiriakis gets you lifetime financial security, endless attention, and a baby daddy who will bend over backwards to make you happy. Pinning a baby on a DiMera, however, that is a whole different kind of war. Johnny is tied to E.J. DiMera, and E.J. is ruthless. Maybe Joy knew that if she claimed Johnny was the father, E.J. would destroy her, take full custody of the child, and banish her from Salem forever. Or maybe she didn't even know for sure who the father was until she did the math, panicked, and rigged the DNA test to point the finger at Alex, securing a safer, more pliable target. And let's talk about the sheer tragedy this would cause for Johnny if it turns out to be true. Johnny DiMera finding out he has a secret child with Joy Wesley would be an absolute nuclear bomb dropping on his life. Right now, Johnny is desperately trying to hold his world together. His wife, Chanel, is pregnant and battling aggressive breast cancer. She is terrified, vulnerable, and completely reliant on Johnny for emotional support. Can you imagine the catastrophic heartbreak if Chanel finds out that Johnny got Joy pregnant right before they committed to their future? It would utterly destroy Chanel. The emotional stakes here are astronomically high. The writers have perfectly positioned Johnny as the tragic figure in this scenario, caught between his sick wife and a secret child he never knew existed. Furthermore, we have to consider the E.J. DiMera factor. E.J. is already losing his mind. His master plans are crumbling, Lexi is dying all over again, Kristen has escaped and is running around town disguised as Susan Banks, and Holly just unleashed her wrath on him for planting drug in her bag. E.J. is a cornered animal right now. If E.J. finds out that he has another DiMera grandchild, Kelsey, and that a Kiriakis has been raising her because of a fake DNA test, the DiMera versus Kiriakis war would explode in a way we haven't seen since the days of Stefano and Victor. E.J. would rain hellfire down on Joy, and he would completely decimate Alex just for the fun of it. And when the truth finally comes out, Alex is going to be absolutely destroyed. The fallout will be legendary. Alex has bonded with this little girl. He has proudly paraded her around to Justin, calling her Kelsey Adrian Kiriakis, naming her after the woman who raised him. He has sacrificed his marriage, his peace of mind, and his wife's sanity, all for a child that isn't even his. When that bubble bursts, Alex is going to look like a total clown, and the psychological destruction of Robert Scott Wilson's character will be devastating to watch. He will lose the daughter he fell in love with, and he will realize he threw away the love of his life for a complete lie. As for Stephanie, she will feel entirely vindicated. She has been torturing herself, trying to keep her marriage afloat while enduring Joy's psychological warfare. Stephanie knew from day one that Joy was a snake. She knew Joy was manipulating the situation, creating fake emergencies to lure Alex away. When the Johnny DiMera bombshell drops, Stephanie will be proven 100% right. But honestly, I think it will be too late. The damage is already done. Even if Alex comes crawling back, begging for forgiveness, how can Stephanie ever trust him again? He chose a manipulative liar over his own traumatized wife. Their marriage is completely dead in the water, and no amount of apologies will fix the betrayal Stephanie has endured. It all fits together too perfectly. The bar scene, the faked DNA test, the DiMera-Kiriakis rivalry, and the tragic timing with Chanel's cancer. This is Days of Our Lives storytelling at its absolute finest, messy, dramatic, and full of long con secrets. I am strapping in for the ride, because if this Johnny theory turns out to be correct, Salem is about to experience a nuclear-level shockwave. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you believe Joy faked the test? Is Johnny the real father? I will be right here, obsessively watching every single scene, waiting for this massive secret to blow up in everyone's faces